You know, there's nothing worse than planting your garden seeds in the garden and then having nothing germinate. You know, garden seeds are living things and they can die. So before you plant your garden with bad seed, let's go ahead and learn the best way to store your garden seeds so that they are viable for you when you want to plant them. Seeds need two things to remain alive for as long as possible. So they need to be dry and they need to be cool. So seeds, they can die within just a few days if stored in a place that's too hot or too humid. So let's talk about how to keep your seeds dry. So if you live in a dry climate, your seeds are probably dry. To test this, you want to try to break a seed in half. So if it cracks, then the seed batch is dry and doesn't need any more drying. If it just bends, then the seed batch is too moist. So if your seed bends and you need to dry them down some more, you can do this with some silica sand. So you can buy the silica sand online or at a craft store. It is mostly used for drying flowers. So what you want to do is you want to get a glass canning jar and your seed, and what you're going to do is you are going to, I put my silica sand down in the bottom here, bottom of the jar, and then you take your seed. This happens to be in a plastic bag, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to open this up. It could be in a paper sack or cloth sack, but I'm just going to open that up so that the air can get to the seed. And I'm going to put the seed, you want to usually an equal amount of the silica sand and the seed, and you want to put it in as small of a container as you can. So we'll put it in this little glass jar. And I'm going to put the lid on that. And then you are going to leave this sealed in a regular temperature place, not hot, and no sunlight. Don't let any sunlight on this. And you're going to leave this for 7 days. The only exception to that rule is the legume seeds. They need to come out of the jar in 6 days to keep them from getting too dry. So after the 7 days, then you can take your seeds out of the jar. And you're going to go ahead and seal them up or put them in another airtight container so you can seal the bag, and then you can put this in, I like to store my seeds in canning jars, and then put this in another container. And then your silica sand, it'll have moisture in it. Your silica sand is reusable, and so when you buy your silica sand, just read on the instructions. Most of the silica sand will re-dry in an oven at 250 degrees Fahrenheit for like 3 to 4 hours. So after drying the silica sand, you want to definitely get the lid back on it and store that in an airtight container. Okay, now that we have dry seeds and are storing them in an airtight container to keep the moisture out, next we need to keep the seeds cool. So if the temperatures are over 100 degrees Fahrenheit, you run the risk of killing your seeds. So the best storage temperature is around 40 degrees Fahrenheit. You know, the refrigerator is one of the best places to store seeds. So you can place your seeds in a jar and put that inside the refrigerator, and that'll be perfect storage. And I've seen seeds that have lived for over 20 years out of my refrigerator, so it's really a nice way to store them. So if you don't have enough space in the fridge, you can put them in the freezer if you've dried them down below 8%. So go ahead and use the crack test. If they are not dry enough or you're not sure, then I wouldn't put them in the freezer because you could burst them. So another place to store your seeds is in a cool garage, but you want to be sure to take them out if it's going to get hot, you know, like in the summertime. So you got to monitor that for the garage. A basement room is great, one that's unheated. That's a great place to store your seeds. It'll be a little bit warmer than 40, but it's still a pretty good place. So seeds that are stored cool and dry have a great chance of being viable for years to come. So if you are needing some fresh garden seeds, go ahead and check out our garden seed kits, and you can get these for a significant discount. So links to our seeds is in the description below. And if you'd like to learn how to do a germination test on your seeds to see if they're still good, go ahead and watch our video, Can Garden Seeds Go Bad? And you can find it right here.